This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, now we're official. We're being recorded, so I'm going to start again. Good evening. Welcome to the Harwich Housing Committee meeting of Tuesday, January 19, 2021, and at 5 p.m. This meeting will be held via remote participation. Access is available through gotomeeting.com and will be live on channel 18. Please join my meeting from your computer, tablet, or smartphone. You can also dial in using your phone. The number is 1-408-650-3123. Access code 528-072-501. Okay, here we go. Pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law, general law, chapter 30A, section 20, and the governor's March 15th, 2020 order imposing strict limitations on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Harwich Housing Committee is being conducted once again for remote participation. No in-person attendance of the members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings as provided for in the order. A reminder that persons who would like to listen to this or view this meeting while in process may do so by logging in or calling in as specified above on the agenda. And what happened here? What happened? Can't see me, huh?
I can see you.
You can't see me.
Art?
Yeah, can you see me?
Yeah.
You can. How am I? I'm not seeing any. I got half my screen blocked out here. Linda?
Yes.
What did I do today? Why am I blocked out here?
Wow, what did you do?
I don't know. Don't know.
I just know absolutely nothing about GoToMeeting.
Okay, well.
What is,
Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. See,
just start clicking on things.
behind every great man, there's a greater woman. Let me. And don't you forget it, Art. Okay. The first thing we have to do is take a roll call. Okay. I'll read off the names and just click on and say aye. Cindy? Aye.
No, thank you.
Okay. Mary is not with us, right? Okay. Joe?
Here, aye.
Okay. And Art, aye. Thank you very much. Okay. Now, bear with us. The first order of our business today is we have some past minutes that have not been approved. And the copies of the minutes have been sent out to everyone. I received some corrections. They've been incorporated. And what I would like to do is vote on the three meetings as one agenda item. And the meetings of September 14, 2020, October 19th, 2020, and November 24th, 2020. And do I have a motion to accept the minutes? Cindy?
I'll make the motion that we approve the three separate meeting minutes.
Okay. And second?
I second.
Okay, Joe, thank you very much. Okay, Cindy and Joe, okay. And okay, well, and let me just run through, we got to do the same roll call. Just to answer aye. And when I call your name, Cindy, you approve?
Yes.
All right, okay. And Mary's not here. Joe? Do you approve?
Yeah, approved, yep.
All right, okay, Joe. And Art approves. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, moving right along. So get that out of the way. That's been hanging out there for quite a while. I just want to add at this point, one of the reasons we've been kind of a little delinquent in getting the minutes out is that right now we don't have a secretary. And they're relying on me to kind of fill in as secretary. I don't do a very good job as secretary. Anyways. Okay, the next thing is I want to recognize our guests. First, we have Beth Wade. She's the Director of Land Acquisition and Project Development for Habitat for Humanity of Cape Cod. And I see Wendy Culligan. She's the Director of Habitat for Humanity. Thank you both. I also see Carolyn McKellen. Carolyn, good evening. Good evening, Carolyn. She's not going to speak. Carolyn is the chairperson of the Chatham Housing Partnership Committee, which is similar to our committee, but in Chatham they call it a partnership. Okay, with that, I'm going to turn it over to Beth. Beth is going to give us a little presentation, a little update, whatever you want to call it, on the 6 house builds that Habitat is pursuing in West Harwich on Murray Lane, which is off of Route 28. And with that, Beth, you have the show.
Sure. Thanks, Art, and thanks, everyone. When Art and I first talked, we thought it would be a great idea to bring Wendy too. Wendy has just had her 1-year anniversary as the executive director of Habitat for Humanity of Cape Cod. And so, Art, if it's okay, I'm just going to turn it over to Wendy briefly so she can introduce herself and speak to her position at Habitat. And then following that, I'll give the update with regard to Murray Lane specifically. And perhaps we'll circle back to see how we together can celebrate some of the milestones happening at Murray Lane.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you. Wendy, you have the mic.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Beth. And thank you, Art, and the rest of the committee, the Harwich Housing Committee, for having us here tonight to talk about Habitat's work. I won't do a full presentation. I know that you're really interested in what's going on over on Murray Lane. I'll just let you know what we're up to now. We have been an affiliate here on Cape Cod since 1988. We've built homes in all 15 towns on the Cape. This past fall, we were able to finish the 10 homes that we had to put on hold last March when COVID arrived, and we closed our sites and our restores for 10 weeks. So we are very happy that we have completed those 10 homes, 2 in Wellfleet, 1 in Mashpee, and most recently we were able to get all 7 families on Paul Hushway and Brewster into their homes before Christmas, right before Christmas, within like a week or 2. So we're so happy about that, and we're so thankful to all of our volunteers that really were so dedicated to getting those families into their homes. Also, this past fall, we began work on 2 homes in Mashpee and 1 home in Orleans, and we're going to plan on getting those finished hopefully this spring or summer. Depending on COVID, right now we have all of our volunteers off the sites again because the numbers have been increasing. So we're watching that very closely. But I'll turn it over to Beth now so she can speak specifically to Murray Lane. I do want to say that we received 58 applications for the 6 homes we're going to build in Harwich, and that really and truly shows the need that we have here on the Cape and for affordable houses. We are planning to build 10 more in Falmouth this summer or fall. And in our pipeline, we have homes to build in Sandwich, Chatham, Brewster, and Wellfleet. So we're so happy with the partnerships we have with the towns on the Cape that they want to see our homes in their town. We're very proud of the homes we build. We build very high quality homes, and they're very energy efficient. We learned recently from Habitat International that our Habitat homes have the lowest HERS rating of any Habitat homes in the country. So we're very dedicated to building a good home, environmentally friendly. We love the Cape. We're very concerned about the environment, as all of you are. So I will now turn it over to Beth.
Thanks, Wendy. So what I'll do is just explain a little bit about the site and what we've done so far and what will be happening over the coming months. We have had a couple of delays at the site, but things are in really good shape and we're well underway at this point. We've had, as Wendy mentioned, there's been COVID-related delays, and those have spilled over into the Murray Lane project, including some of the work that we were doing specifically with the town. They also had delays, and so the combined delays held things back a little bit. The other thing that I wanted to mention too was the fact that we are coordinating our efforts with the owner of 93 Main Street, who is Noah and Tammy Thatcher. So for one reason or another, the Thatchers had a bit of a delay in taking off the apartment, which was part of the comp permit and needed to be removed in order for us to put our road in. So that was a little bit of a hurdle, but we're through that. And Art said that he had sent around the PDF of the photos, and you could see on that PDF, if you have it, there's photos of the area where the apartment came off and some of the work that was done after that. We did some grading, and we helped Noah out with the demolition of that and landscaping around that, as well as taking care of the 2 driveway areas which were part of the comprehensive permit. So that's been done. And so now we're on to, at this point, digging the foundations and the footings, and there's actually several foundations are in and the rest are underway. After that, we'll be putting in septics and trenching for the water to the foundations. Our electrician will come back and he will do his work with regard to any electric that can be done at this point. The driveways will be put in. And then in March or April, after the foundations are all in, they'll be capped. And we're looking forward to wall raisings, likely in late June, early July. And there were a couple of other things I wanted to mention, and then I'll take questions. We did have the building permits released on October 7th, and that was something to be very pleased about. And soon after that, on November 2nd, I submitted on behalf of the town of Harwich a request for new unit forms to the Department of Housing and Community Development. And what that form does, it requests that the 6 new units at Murray Lane be placed on the subsidized housing inventory. So they were actually approved that same day, and they are, I believe they are included on the most recent SHI list, which was issued on the 21st of December, just this past December. It was the first update in several years. So that was a very exciting milestone. You all have had a part in adding 6 homes to that inventory. And so that's definitely something to be celebrated from our standpoint, and I think from yours too. Are there any specific questions?
Oh, Beth, I'd like to just ask one comment. Is that standard that you get approval on getting placed on the inventory list before the houses, before the COs are issued, or is this just new?
No, for the 40B comprehensive permit projects, there you can apply as soon as the building permits have been issued. And then what I do after we get the COs, I do update DHCD with those, and that ensures the continuation of those units on SHI.
Okay.
Right. One other thing, Art, in our conversation previously, we had mentioned, I mentioned the ownership of number 93, and I also just wanted to clarify for the community, because I know there's been some questions, that 97 Main Street, which is the Judah Chase House, is also owned by the Thatchers.
Hmm.
Does anyone have any questions for either myself or for Wendy?
I had a question. Did I hear you correctly that 6 of the 10 homes are going to be considered 40B?
There's 6 homes. This was a 40B comprehensive project. This is a project that was permitted several years ago under 40B.
And this is Murray Lane. This is Murray Lane.
That's correct. 6 homes there.
Okay. I thought I heard 10. That's why I'm asking.
Maybe I misstated. It's 6 homes.
No, I think that was, when I was speaking, I mentioned that we're also this summer starting 10 homes in Falmouth. And maybe that's where you heard the 10, but that's in Falmouth.
And do you have any other projects you're looking for? This Habitat community says, I'm just listening to Wendy, multiple towns. You're not just obviously country and Harwich. Are there any other projects that you're looking at in Harwich? Land, whatever?
We're always looking for new projects, and there's oftentimes discussions that are ongoing. So we're hoping to identify another parcel in Harwich at some point soon.
Okay. And these 6 properties, I think I know this, but they're deed restricted, right?
Yes, they are. They're deed restricted. First sales from Habitat will be between 60 and 65% of area median income, and I believe, I have to check because occasionally there is some other AMI percentage for subsequent sales, but typically subsequent sales, if any of the owners decide at some point to move on, would be at 80% AMI and are into perpetuity.
Right. Okay. I'm good.
Hi, Carolyn.
Hi, Carolyn, go ahead. I see your hand up.
And I see your mouth moving.
We're not hearing you. Oh, you're indicating you're turned down, but something's wrong with the audio. You sure you got it on? Okay, try that.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, there you go. All right.
Okay, there you go.
So anyways, when are the applications going out again? For the property?
For this property,
Yeah.
the applications are actually, they're closed, correct, Wendy? Right. They
Okay.
closed on December 1st.
And when do you expect the drawing to be?
Wendy?
We're probably still a couple months out for that.
Oh,
The
it's out.
team is going through the applications now. They're not able to all come in as they used to, Carolyn,
Sure.
come in, all together. So we've had to reschedule them so there's no more than 2 people in the conference room at a time. So I would say the drawing probably will not happen until late March, at least.
And you said April was the cap of, you're going to do the, what's happening and the progression of the building. I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. When you said the building was going to start, is that in April?
It's probably June.
Okay, June. All right. I'm just trying to think of, I had misunderstood. I thought the applications hadn't gone out yet, but I would be looking for an opportunity to get some positive press out there and to say, we finally have some good news. Despite COVID, Habitat is plowing through, and Harwich is going to have a beautiful neighborhood in West, something like that, that just kind of gins people up and gets people positive about something, for one, housing for another, what Harwich is doing and the role they're playing, and despite all this calamity, that you're pushing through and get some housing. Now, I know we on the other side look, it seems it's a slow moving thing. I know people have been looking at that property saying, what are they going to do? When are they going to do it? So if you could find a good time that doesn't, you don't want to say it too soon and then have another delay, but you want to, I would, from my point of view and the work we've done in Chatham, is you always want to intermittently get that press out there and be celebrating what this wonderful, you want to frame it so that people can embrace it easily about how wonderful this project is. I mean, you're gonna have 6 homes, 6 families. You're gonna West Harwich is going back to its roots, and it's going to be a neighborhood, not just a stretch of land that you drive by. It's going to be a community, and have that be the focus of what you want to put in the paper. I mean, you'll get some press in the Chronicle if you put an article, and one of you can put an article in there talking about what you're doing. You just want to time it so you're not celebrating too fast and then have another big delay. So that would be my suggestion. And also to be somehow frame, you'd have to be delicate about those other 2 properties. Chatham's Habitat's improving the neighborhood. That's the gist. It's not part of the problem, but you'd have to find a delicate way to put that out there in the press. And Habitat's the champion, the cause of improving Harwich's neighborhoods. So that would be my suggestion.
Well said, Carolyn, and thank you. You should write the press release for us because you say it perfectly.
Thank you, Carolyn. Carolyn, I believe the press is with us tonight to see caller number 1. So they're probably copying down exactly what you're saying.
Oh, good, because I don't think I can remember it. So.
Carolyn, for those that don't know her, she's one of Habitat's main cheerleaders for housing. All things Habitat. So she goes way back for her involvement with Habitat, and we always. Every once in a while, I'll give her a call, and when I might feel a little despondent about the way things are going, and within a few minutes of talking to Carolyn, it regenerates your vitality and sets you straight on which way you should be going. But thank you again, Carol. Always love to hear from you.
Yeah, you're very, very welcome.
Cindy, I haven't heard from you. What's on your mind?
I don't have any questions.
No
Yep.
questions at all. Okay. Well, then they're not competing with Hack now, so you don't have to worry about that.
We never do. There's no
Okay.
competition. Absolutely.
Okay, everyone's doing their own thing. Well, anyways, Joe, anything else? Anything else you go on to add? Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
No, I'm all set. I'm all set.
Oh, you're all set.
Yeah.
I'll see you. Oh, Carol,
I'll
go
ask
ahead.
another one. You
Sure.
hear me?
Yes,
No,
we can.
I didn't want to come over and like take all your meetings, so.
Don't worry
But,
about it. Don't.
So there's 6 homes, and are they're 2 and 3 bedroom homes? And when you said you had 56 applicants, is that 56 that you're milling through now? Or I know sometimes there's breakaway points where you immediately can omit people that don't qualify, and then you're down to the 56. Just in terms of understanding the number of applicants. And that, again, that would be another great press release of, work still going on. 56 of our neighbors have applied for just these 6 homes. It's just a drop in the bucket, but, we're making it happen. So to understand the demographic of the families, they're 3 bedrooms and 2 bedrooms. Is that correct?
Yes.
Are they 60 and 80% AMI, or is it all one or the other? Or
They're all 60. Is it 60 or 65, Beth?
It's a mix of 60 to 65.
okay.
Yes.
Do we do any 80 at all?
Currently, we don't,
No.
Carolyn.
Okay. All right. 80 is the new 60. Just so you know.
I know, we do
It's
know
getting to
that.
be.
We do know
It's getting to
that.
be.
It's-
All right. Well, you got 50 so applicants at the 60 to 65 AMI. That's incredible.
And it's 58, just.
58. Okay, I'm sorry. But that's such a low bar in terms of they're really struggling and hanging on. You still have that many people in town or the surrounding communities at that point. So very good. All right. I guess that was my question.
Sure. Art,
Yes.
did you want Wendy to just share a little bit of the ideas around our past kickoffs that we've done? We did one, for example, in the town of Orleans that was well received, and it may be a way, as Carolyn has suggested, around the celebration once we have the homeowners pick. Could she say a few words about that?
Oh, definitely. That's. I'll just preface that Habitat is strong on ceremony. I mean, they're strong on everything they do. But one of the things I always amazes me about they're strong with tradition. Their kickoff. I mean, they're the whole package. I mean, when you just don't fill out an application and then you show up to put in your sweat equity, and then you fill out your mortgage and you go through that process and you get the keys and that's it. There's a whole bunch of steps along the way that just really makes Habitat the whole package. What I want to say. I mean, and one of the big things is the kickoff. And I don't know how you're going to do it this year, but generally, it's a nice gathering of all the prospective. I always want to use the term prospective homeowners, their family partners, town dignitaries, donors, other people that work for Habitat. And they kind of make it a nice time, and particularly when you got multiple homes like this in a neighborhood that you're building, the various people that are in line to get a Habitat house, meet their prospective neighbors, and start friendships there, and so on and so forth. So it's a good deal. But yeah, I won't take any more of Wendy's time. I can talk all night about Habitat. But anyway, the kickoff is a big thing. Wendy, go ahead.
Thank you, Art. As Art said, we are big on ceremony, and it's really something that we've missed over the last year. Typically, when we're going to be building in a town, we will, prior to raising walls, but after the families have been selected that are going to be building the homes, we'll have what we call a community kickoff, where it's open to the public. We publicize it as an opportunity for the community to join us, to hear just exactly what we are doing over there on whatever street we're building. And we explain our program. We hear a little bit from our director of construction and our volunteer coordinators, and we talk about all the different opportunities there are to be involved with Habitat. You know, how do we do this? How do we build affordable homes? Why are they affordable? What do we sell them for? Who builds them? Our volunteers. You know, it's really, Habitat really is the community. It's not the small staff over in Yarmouthport, not only the staff over in Yarmouthport. It's, you know, everyone that raises a hammer, writes a check. It's really, we don't do it without community behind us. So we like to start the build by inviting the community in to hear not only from us, the staff, but they also hear from the families. We introduce the families that will be building their homes. You know, I didn't, in my opening talk, I didn't know how much time I had or how much I could really talk about our program, but one question we always get is, how do you qualify for a Habitat home? I can talk about that briefly. You need to earn less than 65% of the median income of Barnstable County. You have to have a steady income because you will be purchasing the home. We don't give homes away. The homes are purchased by the families that help build them. You have to show your need. I always like to say, we don't want to build a house for the kid who's sitting out by the pool and his mom's sick of him sitting there all day, right? We want to build a home for a family that needs it. So we have after the applications are received, we do send teams out to visit the families in their current living situation, and you know, I'm told they see great need, a lot of need. Often families are doubled or tripled up in small homes where they're sleeping in dining rooms and there's mattresses, you know, around the house. Paying outrageous amount for rents, $1,200, $1,500, $1,800 a month rent. And when you're working at a service level job, it makes it impossible to get ahead, as well as paying outrageous daycare. So we see a lot of need. You also have to commit to contributing 250 hours of what we call sweat equity, helping to build your home. And I raised 3 children, and I didn't have an extra 10 hours for about 20 years. So 250 hours is no small feat for a homeowner to contribute to helping to build their home. So back to the ceremony. So we have our community kickoff. We let the community know that in a non-COVID year, we are open to volunteers. You don't have to have any experience. You can sign up on our website to come and volunteer for a day, or construction, or you can volunteer by making snacks. There's lots of opportunities to sit on committees. And then we have a wall raising when it's time to start the construction. We kick off the whole construction phase with a wall raising where the family actually, alongside the volunteers, help push the wall up on their home, and that just signifies the beginning of their very special journey to home ownership. And we wrap it up with a home dedication, where all the volunteers that help build the home come to celebrate the completion of the home and dedicate the home, bless the home for the family. So we are rich on ceremony. I would love to do a community kickoff for the town of Harwich. Unfortunately, it would be a Zoom kickoff, but we have done 2. We did one for the town of Mashpee and one for the home that we're building in Orleans. So we've had, I think, up to 50 or 80 people on our Zooms, and that platform can support that number of people. And it would be an opportunity to introduce the families that we'll be building. As Carolyn said, we're being careful to not announce too much too soon. Right now, we're kind of in a holding pattern, you know, praying this vaccine can turn the tides and we can start getting the same amount of volunteers that we typically count on to help build our homes. We are still moving ahead on all of our projects, just not very quickly. So, as I said, we were able to finish the 10 homes that we started. We have 3 homes we're working on right now that will progress but slowly, and we'll start those 6 homes in Harwich. We'll get those walls up and we'll get, you know, we'll get them built. It just might be a slower process. So as soon as we know when the families are going to be selected, I'll be able to announce that we'll do a Zoom community kickoff for the town. And we love doing that. We love the questions because it clears up, you know, so many questions that people have about our work. I hear it all the time. Oh, how did that family get a home? How did they get a home? How do I get a home? No one really gets a home, right? You have the opportunity to build with Habitat. From those 58 applications, everyone that qualifies, their names really do go into a bucket, and we will pull out the names of the 6 families that will be building with us. It is, you know, it is a lottery in that sense, but it's our program. We've built 153 homes here on the Cape. And I think it was 2015 we celebrated our 100th home, and we're up to 153 now. So we've really increased our capacity, and we're building, you know, really as many homes as we can. We see how many families apply and how great the need is. And any questions about that, about our program, how our program works? Carolyn?
Yeah, just what I'm not up to date on the current figures. As you were mentioning, many of the applicants are paying $12, $15, and $100 and more, often for substandard, horrible places that they have to live, or I think they have to move every 6 months or something. What is the typical? You have a range of what the homeowner's mortgage will be. Is that
Sure.
ballpark?
Yeah, ballpark $750 to $850. So if you can imagine a family who's used to paying, say, $1,500 or $1,800 every month, what that extra $1,000, $800 every month after month, what difference that makes to that family. And I always go to the children where you can say, yeah, now you can play soccer, now you can be in the school band, now you can take that class, because those are all the things as a parent you have to say no to when you're scraping by. It's just too expensive to enroll your children in all these activities, because, you know, these days they have to have this exact helmet, these exact pads, those exact shoes. You know, it's $250 for the registration. So it's, you know, they're just really, I don't want Cape Cod to be for the wealthy only. And when we see the house prices soaring and, you know, just no opportunities for families, you know, we want our work to continue, and we really and truly want to partner with the community and partner with the towns to help make this difference on the Cape.
Well, and what a phenomenal, you know, just the amount of homes that you folks have built in terms of raw numbers of people who need housing have got it compared to other government programs. And then, because you can go get housing subsidized, you could be paying $1,200 and still be on, you know, still be in those margins, and you still have to pay that. And here is really just a transformative experience where now you're going to own your house and you're on your way. Well worth the wait for. So anybody who complains about how long this takes, it doesn't matter, because eventually 6 people are going to get this house, and after that, more houses and more houses and more houses. So there's nothing else like this program. And when you're talking about the ceremony, the best part of that is how it creates a continuum between, you know, you meet all the different demographics are sitting, well, usually on a non-COVID situation, you're sitting side by side in an old t-shirt and jeans, and you're working next to a CEO, and you're working next to the homeowner who might be a hairdresser. You have this real common ground where people can interact, and they're all valued, and they're all sharing that real authentic experience, and there is nothing else like it. So and it's an opportunity for the community at large to feel empowered. It's not just about the homeowner, it's helping the community to understand that they can be proactive in solving the problems in their community. And I think that's sometimes not always emphasized in terms of the real value that it gives back to the community, because it's a total circle from the homeowner to the volunteer to the members of the community who participate, and it goes in a circle. So that's a huge opportunity for the town to celebrate too. So.
Yeah, thank you, Carolyn. You're so
Thank you,
on
Carolyn.
target. You're absolutely. And you mentioned, the families, how many times they moved. I remember when I first started, I met Soshana, and her kids at that time, I think, were 13 and 15, and they had moved 16 times. I mean, that had been their life, just move after move, no roots. And Melissa, she was the first home dedication that I attended, and her story was, she lived in a room with her children, and she was happy to have a room to live in, but she could stand in the room and just about touch all four walls, and that's where they ate and slept and played, and that's was their life. And she was working for a cleaning company at the time, and had to turn down a 50-cent an hour raise, or she would have lost her child care vouchers. So she felt trapped, and she was trapped. I mean, she just, never felt she could get ahead until she built her Habitat home, and she knew her mortgage was affordable. She knew that she could earn enough to pay her mortgage, and it just, as she said, really set her free to take a little bit of risk in her life. And she now owns her own cleaning company and a property management company, and she employs over 40 people at the height of the season. And she's actually the newest member of Habitat's board of directors. So she attributes all of that to her having her Habitat home and that security that it brings. No more worrying about vouchers and help like that. So.
Well, thank you very much. Sally, we haven't heard from you. Sally's, I guess you're a butter in the neighborhood there. You still on?
I'm here.
Okay, would you like to contribute or ask a question or just maybe a comment? I would love to hear from you.
Well, you invited me, so thanks for the shout out. I didn't really have anything on my mind. You mentioned that there were some people in the neighborhood that were maybe concerned about the way the project was going or something. I hadn't heard that, and so I asked two abutters about it, two that I know. They hadn't heard either. I think their focus was more not Habitat, but more with the 97 with the Thatcher or Thayer house. But I mean, they knew already that that wasn't Habitat. They're just really kind of concerned about that. But other than that, that's all I've heard. So if you heard something, I don't know about it.
No.
Okay, all right.
Well, thank you very much, Sally. I mentioned that it was just a feeling more than actually heard something, I guess. But on this whole thing, I'll just add my contribution. Like I always say, every neighborhood that Habitat goes into it, they raise the level of that neighborhood. It becomes a better neighborhood because of them. And when they leave it in a better place than when they found it. I've been in construction with Habitat for going on 11 years now, and there was a couple places I was a little surprised. One that I won't pinpoint exactly, but when I first arrived on the site, I said, "Oh my goodness sakes, this is a great site." But then I turned around and looked in the opposite direction, and it looked like they were behind a junkyard. But anyways, whether it was Habitat doing any outwardly pressure or just being a good, steady neighbor, the abutting property owners cleaned up their act, hauled all the trash away, painted the buildings, and actually they look as good as they could possibly look. And so I'll repeat what I said before. Habitat always leaves the neighborhood in better shape than when they found it. So thank you, Habitat. Anybody else that wants to chime in? Well,
I'm gonna buy out and go to dinner, but thank you very much.
okay, well, thanks for coming. Beth, Wendy, I'll be in touch with you. You know, I'm still involved there, even with my thumb. Sooner or later, I'll be able to pick up a hammer again. And
Sounds good. Thank you, Art, for having us.
Yes,
okay, well, thank you for coming.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a good night. We can stay and listen to the rest of our whatever.
Yeah, thank you for the work you guys do. Don't give up, and we all appreciate the contributions that you make.
Thanks,
Okay.
Carolyn. We appreciate
Carolyn.
it. Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Right. Okay, that was very good. That was very informative and very, very good presentation. Moving along here with the rest of our meetings. Under new business, what I call our ongoing discussion with the Affordable Housing Trust, and I call it our roadmap to becoming forming a partnership with the trust. Really don't have too much to report. They haven't had a meeting in the last 2 months, but there's things going on in the background that apparently I'm not really privy to. I can guess at what they are, but I don't want to speculate until they actually become something real. The one project that's out there that the trust is working on, that's what we call the Sisson Road project, which is adjacent to the Harwich Junior Theater and across the street from the museum. Anyways, they've contracted with Mass Housing Partnership to do the engineering work, the site engineering work, and that's in process right now. And apparently they've hit a little snag trying to find someone that'll do the soil testing part of the engineering report. So as soon as they get that, they'll start moving along, and hopefully before too long, they'll have an RFP on the street, and we might see some activity sometime this coming year on that site. They're looking at probably 6 to 10 units, rentable units, probably 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms. And that's about as much as I know about the project right now. Okay, the next item is under general comments. Let's see, did I jump along here? Oh no, let's do the election of officers. This is one here now.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, jump in.
Do you lose a quorum? And Cindy, you might be able to help me with this because I'm only on this other committee. But do you lose a quorum if we're going to vote for one of the 3 people in the building here? Do you know what I mean, Cindy? Like, do you have to have a third? Do you have to have a third person? Do you have to have 3 people? Do you have to have 3 people to vote for the other person in this group, or is there a quorum here of 2 to vote for the third?
That's usually a Mary answer. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
Of the committee.
Right.
Three members is a quorum of a 5-member committee.
Right. I don't want to mess it up here. I'm just asking the question. If we vote and we vote for you, Art, to be the president again, is that a quorum between Cindy and I? That's my question. You can't vote for yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, you can? Okay.
Oh, I don't know that either. I don't know the parliamentary stuff. I mean,
well,
we might as well just do it anyways and beg forgiveness later. I mean, it's fine with me. I'm just asking the question. Sorry.
Well, I'll let you and Cindy hash it out. I really don't know. I want to side on the right side. I don't want to jump to conclusions.
Have
And
we heard from Mary or more importantly, Meg? Is she still a member?
I don't believe she's still a member because I wrote a letter to the board and I sent a copy to the town clerk. Meg has not communicated to me since last September. And I've tried emails and I tried telephone calls and nothing. And if I kept trying, I could be accused of being a stalker. At some point, you just can't say.
Mary is still involved? But Mary is still.
Mary is on about most of the committees in town, she's still involved. I don't want to pressure and say, Mary, I think your plate is full and maybe you ought to, take something off your plate. I mean, that's her decision to be made. I don't think it's my decision to make that. That's for sure. And when Mary's here, she always contributes, and she knows this stuff. A question like Joe is bringing up, she would definitively have the answer. I would have to go and look for it. So
I just brought that up, Cindy, in Art, because we did this last year, and everyone was in the room, so it wasn't even a question. Everyone that was on the committee was in the room.
Right.
And now we want two bodies here. I say we take the vote anyways, and if anyone has questions about it, we can deal with it later. So I don't want to not do that because.
Okay. I think the right way to go is we'll shelve it to the next meeting, and in the meantime, I'll get a determination from the town clerk or whoever. That knows the right answer. So, okay. Well, moving on. So the last item basically on the agenda is general comments. And let's see, what do I have here? I have a couple things. The Royal Building, I'm assuming everyone's familiar with that. That's the building over here on Parallel Street, the corner of Parallel and Bank Street. They used to be assisted living, and it's been sold, and it's been before the planning board a few times now, a couple times last year, and then most recently on January 12th. And the developer has come back with a plan to, at the January 12th, and before that, going back last year, they had proposed to reconfigure the building into 26 rental units. And at last year's, the last meeting they had was in December. I forget the exact date, just to bring you up to speed. They got a lot of opposition because of density and so on and so forth. And they're now going into the realm of multi-family units. And the existing bylaw last year was you need 10 acres or more. No matter how many units we're building, if it's going to be multi-family, it has to be on 10 acres. So now that bylaw has been changed at the last annual town meeting. And so that's no longer an impediment. So the developers was back before the planning board on the 12th of January. And the long story short, it was continued again. But before it was continued, the developer came back with a number of proposals, still asking to convert to 26 units. But here's where we get involved, or somewhat involved. He agreed to have 3 of the 26 units be affordable and make them deed restricted or whatever's got to be done so the town would get credit for 3 affordable units in that building. So the next meeting is January the 26th. So they're before the planning board again. And I'm assuming it's going to go through, but he's still got a fair amount of opposition. I'm sorry? The
I
name
have
of the
two questions. Who's the developer and how many units are already a part of the Royal as assisted?
Okay, the developer is a fellow named, I want to say Barden, B-A-R-D-N. I think that was his last name, Barden. I forget what his first name was. Apparently he was he's from Harwich, has lived here. I don't know if he lives here now, but he has lived here in the past. So he's new to the area, or not new. He's not new to the area. Let's put it that way. What was it before? It was assisted living, and it had.
Do you know how many units were in there? How many?
It was assisted living. It had. I don't know exactly. I think the number was like either 33 or 36, somewhere in there. But I don't want to be held down to that number because I'm not sure. But anyways, they're going to reconfigure. The plan is to reconfigure the building and come up with 26 units, rental units, 1 and 2 bedroom. I think 1 and 2 bedroom. I don't know if there's any 3 bedroom or not. It might be 1 or 2, but that's about it. Anyways, I got up and made a little comment at the meeting. I just introduced myself as a friend of housing and a resident of Harwich. I didn't use my official designation as chair of the housing committee or anything like that. But on the 26th, if you're around and you want to log on, I believe it'll be at 6:30 in the evening, planning board. Joe, you'll probably go to that one.
I don't know if I'll go to that one, but I knew it was there, and I'm definitely going to listen in. The only issue with that place is parking. So you're going to rent for 26 units, and parking, they're going to have to shave the back end of that property off to get the parking space. It's just not there.
Apparently, I haven't seen the plans, but apparently what was presented to the town, based on the bylaw restrictions and so on and so forth, they meet the requirement of X number of, I think it's 30 some odd parking spaces. I think it's like, I don't know, it's 1.25 spaces per unit or 1.5. I don't know what the exact unit number is, but it's 30 plus. So the developers claim that he meets that requirement. I mean, all the other requirements. They've gone through all the other boards and committees in town, and everyone says, "Great, go ahead, do it." But the abutters are kind of up in arms over the whole thing. So parking is an issue. Traffic is an issue. Sidewalks are an issue. I mean, there's all manner of things are issues, but it shouldn't stop the project. But we need rental units, so on and so forth. So I'll just leave that out there as general comment. And then the last one is the dormitory complex that was built on the former Stone Horse Motel property over on Route 28. They took the buildings down and they built 2 new buildings, and they were dormitories. So apparently you could guess what happened this year. They were ready for occupancy this past summer. So 2 things happened. COVID-19 shut down most of the restaurants, in which and it was earmarked for seasonal employees. It was only going to be open 5 or 6 months out of the year, just for rental to seasonal employees. And the other one was that the federal government basically did away with the G2 program, where people come from other countries and just for the season. So it basically stayed empty the whole year. I saw a few cars by there and only a few people that were actually occupying it. So now the developers come back and he's making a proposal to the planning board on February 9th to convert one of the buildings, there's 2 buildings there, convert those rooms into 22 one-bedroom apartments. So I don't know what rate they're going to, well, you know, 1 bedroom, I don't know what rate he's going to ask, or if they're going to be affordable, or it's probably going to be a more market rate, workforce rate, I would assume, somewhere around there. And so he's going to be before the board on the 9th. Once again, anyone around who wants to listen in or add their 2 cents, be my guest. Anyways, so it's housing, you know, these 2 places represent housing. And there goes my cat. The last time he jumped on there, he knocked the computer off, and he has this great knack for hitting airplane mode and shuts everything down. Okay. So that said, is anyone want to make any other comments before we wrap it up?
Just quickly.
Quickly, before he's coming back again.
So
if he doesn't get his way, he bites you.
John Howell was in our CPC meeting last week, and there was big discussions, and I think we approved for that housing that housing person for as a part-time job, and the question was, what is he, you know, where is it going to go from here? Why it relates to us is because he's very amenable to having everyone utilize that person, i.e. Jill Scalia, who's in the town of Brewster and is the housing coordinator. She just does an unbelievable job. And so you saw some of that stuff that Donna Kalnick sent me. I'm going to research that a little bit more and make some more inquiries, but for next meeting. But I kind of pushed him to, you know, what are you going to do with this thing? Everybody else has a full-time person, and it shows great success. And eventually he said he wants to get there where in the next iteration, or very soon thereafter, in the next year, he would like to see that job permanent. So that's a good thing. It was supposed to be that way when we started, whatever. But it's a very positive thing if we can get someone in that job like Jill, who moves stuff forward. Like, I heard you mention the MHP. Well, they got MHP grants coming out their ears for different projects and for different housing projects. So those are things that she does in Brewster. And just keeps on pushing forward with the projects. I just wanted to give you that info, and hopefully we'll see that come to fruition next year.
Yeah, Joe, that particular communication you had, I was going to put that on our next meeting's agenda so we can officially talk about it and so on and so forth. While you're on the horn, tell us about CPC applications. Where does housing stand? What's in the hopper for housing? Is there anything going on? Well, we can't hear you. You're off.
Oh, I'm on mute. I'm sorry. The housing trust itself didn't ask for money. The housing authority wants the same $250,000 for rental assistance money, and there are a couple other things, but those are the biggest things that are going on in terms of that.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay.
The most interesting one I think you almost put Mary Mass to tears when we approved and agreed that we should purchase those cranberry bogs. You know those cranberry bogs are across from the Votech? That one guy owns all that land. And he's selling that to historical. And we're going to own that land, which is good.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Cindy, I'm sorry.
I don't have anything to add.
Okay. I guess that's it. I don't know what to do for a next meeting. I mean, should we look at February or let it just kind of roll for a while? I don't know what's everyone's druthers.
I think we should shoot for February. Keep things
Okay. Keep
moving.
me going. Okay.
You know, and
Well,
I don't know how we recruit new members.
okay.
Right?
Well,
We have-
well, yeah. Let's keep that in mind. We need the fifth member, and we need a secretary. That might scare someone away. I'm not sure, but we might have to pedal that one softly. But yeah, if you know of anybody that's interested, please tell them to get an application, fill it out, and go from there. That's it. Okay, so I'll come up with it'll probably be in the towards the middle of the month, and we'll plan something. There's things happening out there, and we can do it then. Okay, any other comments? Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion to adjourn.
And second. Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Thank you for coming and participating. And I think we had a real good meeting. It was good information from Habitat and Carolyn. I tell you, she's a real cheerleader. I tell you, she's always has plenty of good things to say about Habitat and housing in general. Okay, have a good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.